So it's supposed to be closest to Earth on December 19th. Anything new that we know about it? Now, people like NASA says, the officials at NASA say, oh, we believe it's a comet, but perhaps it is not a comet. Perhaps it's an alien technology disguised as a comet. What new information do we have about this that you can share with us today as we approach the perigee to Earth? And please let people know that it's going to be very far away from Earth, like 170 million miles away. We don't have a problem or anything to be scared about, or do we?
No, we don't, because, I mean, we tend to think that even if there is a visitor to the solar system, it will probably just focus on us. It's not at all clear, because the human species existed only over the past few million years. That's a 0.1% of the age of the Earth, and not to speak about the ages of other stars. And a journey takes about 1 billion years throughout the Milky Way galaxy. So whoever sent equipment in our direction didn't have us in mind. And it's sort of like arriving late to a party and thinking that someone was waiting to dance with you. I mean, that is a ridiculous notion. And so my point is, we should not assume anything, but just observe it. And based on the information that we get about our dating partner, we can decide whether, what its nature is. And that's the usual practice in blind dates. You don't know in advance who the dating partner is, and the best way to find out is not to speak and express an opinion ahead of time, but just collect as much data as possible. Because in this case, there are also, if it happens to be alien technology, there is obviously a threat to Earth, and we would like to know that, even if the chances are small. And it's sort of a black swan event that we need to protect ourselves against. And in the coming decade, we'll have many more interstellar objects. And my recommendation is to rank each and every one of them from 0 to 10. There is this classification scale that I came up with called the Loeb scale,
yes,
where 0 is a natural object, 10 is a technological object, and we need to decide what each object might be. Those are objects to be discovered by the Rubin Observatory in Chile. Now, with respect to this one, what we learned recently is, at first, the reason I suspected it might be technological is because its trajectory is aligned with the planets in moving around the sun, and the chance of that happening at random is 1 in 500. And what we are seeing now is that indeed this anti-tail that it had from the beginning, which is a jet coming from the object towards the sun, it seems to persist even now. We have a second image from the Hubble Space Telescope that indicates a jet coming from the object towards the sun, and not away from the sun, the way cometary tails behave. That's an anomaly. We need to explain that, to understand that. In fact, as of this morning, there was a report about the jet wobbling, as if it's sort of like the light beam from a lighthouse that is wobbling, and we need to understand why this happens. This anti-tail extends to 1 million kilometers. We've never seen anything like it for any comet.
Okay, Avi, this is fascinating. We're going to take a...
We're now only hours away from the closest approach of the interstellar object 3I Atlas to Earth. The entire astronomical community is on edge, anxiously awaiting what could be a once-in-a-lifetime event. Yet, as the object draws nearer, something strange is unfolding. What was initially thought to be a standard comet passing through our solar system on a trajectory toward the sun has now revealed itself to be something much more extraordinary. One of the most baffling discoveries is the precise alignment of 3I Atlas's rotation axis. At large distances, its axis is nearly perfectly aligned with the direction of the sun. In astronomical terms, this is incredibly rare, with a probability of occurring naturally as low as 0.005%. The implications are staggering. If this object were a natural comet, we would expect to see chaotic behavior, irregularities caused by the gravitational and solar forces acting on it. But the precision with which it maintains this alignment suggests something more deliberate, more controlled. As 3I Atlas draws closer to Earth, a new anomaly has surfaced, a dimming of the object that defies basic physical principles. Comets, as they approach the sun, typically brighten due to the reflection of sunlight off their icy surfaces. But 3I Atlas is doing the opposite. Instead of becoming more visible as it nears Earth, it is fading, growing darker. This is an unexpected and unsettling turn of events. Could it be cloaking itself, hiding its true nature from our view? Or perhaps it is absorbing the energy from the sun rather than reflecting it in a way that we've never observed in a comet before. The light curve of 3I Atlas adds another layer to the mystery. The dimming follows a precise, rhythmic pattern, almost like clockwork. It is not erratic or random as we would expect from a tumbling comet. No, this pattern is too regular, too deliberate. It resembles binary code with a rhythmic pulse that seems almost engineered. It suggests that 3I Atlas might not just be a passive object, but an active one, perhaps signaling or attempting to communicate. The very possibility that this dimming is part of a deliberate transmission is both exciting and chilling. If it is a signal, what is it? Who or what is it trying to reach? In the midst of these discoveries, the object's anti-solar jets, massive emissions stretching for hundreds of thousands of kilometers, continue to defy all expectations. These jets, unlike anything we've observed from any known comet, are striking not only in their sheer size, but also in their power and consistency. No natural comet has ever been seen emitting such sustained, powerful jets, especially at such a distance from the sun. Comets typically have two tails, one made of dust and another made of ionized gas, both of which are pushed away from the sun by the solar wind, forming a typical cometary tail. But 3I Atlas is different. Its anti-solar jets shoot outward in the opposite direction of the sun, something that should be virtually impossible at the distances 3I Atlas currently occupies. The solar wind, a constant stream of charged particles blasting outward from the sun, is a powerful force. At the distances where 3I Atlas resides, that wind should be dispersing any material not held together by gravity or some form of tethering force. Yet, the anti-solar jets remain steady, directed outward, and unaffected by the solar wind. This extraordinary phenomenon raises a question that no one has been able to answer. What is powering these jets? Typically, the material expelled by comets is a result of solar radiation heating up their icy surfaces, causing sublimation. The resulting gas and dust are then pushed out into space by the solar wind, but the stability of the anti-solar jets of 3I Atlas, which continue to shoot out with relentless force, indicates something far more complex is at work. As 3I Atlas rotates, we expect the material being expelled to change direction, exhibiting a fluctuating behavior as different portions of the object are exposed to sunlight, triggering the release of gas. This is the typical pattern seen in cometary jets, pulsing emissions, irregular and messy, like a cloud being blown by the wind. Yet with 3I Atlas, that's not happening. Instead of irregularity, the jets remain perfectly aligned, with minimal wobble, and they show no sign of fluctuating with the rotation of the object. They appear to be emitting in a way that is almost too controlled, as if they are functioning according to some sort of plan. The emission is not random, not a chaotic byproduct of the object's movement through space. No, it's as though the jets are operating with a purpose, a schedule, a level of consistency that simply doesn't align with what we would expect from a natural comet. This unprecedented level of control over the jets hints at something deliberate. The very fact that the jets remain so precisely aligned suggests that the object's behavior is being regulated by something external to the object itself, something that's guiding the jets to ensure they remain stable. If this were a natural phenomenon, we would expect the jets to be far more erratic, reflecting the randomness of the object's rotation and the unpredictable forces at play in the sun's gravitational field. But instead, what we see is an unnatural level of stability. Could it be that this object, 3I Atlas, is being controlled in a way that defies natural processes? It's as though these jets are functioning according to a hidden purpose, not simply driven by the randomness of physical forces. The mystery deepens after 3I Atlas passed its perihelion, the point in its orbit where it was closest to the sun. In the aftermath of this close approach, scientists expected the emission of gas and dust to diminish significantly, as the sun's heat should have been the primary force driving the sublimation of 3I Atlas's icy surface. After all, once the object moves further away from the sun, the heat and pressure that would normally drive the jets should weaken. Most comets, after they pass perihelion, exhibit a rapid drop in their activity as they move away from the sun. However, 3I Atlas is not following this expected pattern. After passing perihelion, the object continued to emit powerful jets, even though the portion of the object that had been exposed to the sun was now on the night side, shielded from solar radiation. Instead of quieting down, as we would expect from a natural object, the jets remained just as strong. This is an anomaly that by all rights shouldn't be happening. In order for the jets to continue with such force, there must be another source of material capable of fueling them. Scientists now speculate that there could be another pocket of ice at the opposite pole of 3I Atlas, one that continues to sublimate and release gas even after the object has passed its closest approach to the sun. This dual pocket configuration, where ice is sublimating at both poles of the object, is an incredibly rare, almost impossible scenario for a natural comet. The likelihood of this configuration occurring without any intervention or design is astronomically low. Given this, the idea that 3I Atlas is simply a natural object seems increasingly implausible. The evidence suggests that the object is not just a rock tumbling through space, subject to the random forces of the universe. Instead, it appears more likely that 3I Atlas is something far more complex, a meticulously engineered device. Its sustained anti-solar jets, its stable and predictable emissions, and its precise alignment all point to the possibility that this object is an artificial probe purposefully designed to behave in this way. The more data we collect, the more the idea that 3I Atlas is not a natural object begins to seem plausible. Its precise alignment, its sustained and controlled emissions, and its ability to continue generating energy even after perihelion point to a level of engineering that would be difficult, if not impossible, to attribute to natural processes. Could this be an advanced interstellar probe, sent across the cosmos with a mission of its own? The possibility becomes harder to ignore with each passing day. Yet this idea faces resistance. Mainstream scientists and space agencies like NASA continue to favor the natural comet narrative, largely dismissing the notion that 3I Atlas could be anything other than a fragment of a long-dead solar system. This reluctance to consider the possibility of artificial origins is understandable, but it also seems increasingly limiting. The more anomalies we observe, the more it becomes clear that 3I Atlas is not conforming to the patterns we expect from natural celestial bodies. Shouldn't science be open to revising its paradigms in light of new evidence? As December 19th draws nearer and the object's closest approach to Earth becomes imminent, we must reconsider our understanding of what 3I Atlas might be. Could it be an alien artifact, a piece of technology that has traveled across vast stretches of space to reach us? The dimming behavior, with its binary-like signaling, the precision of its jet emissions, and its post-perihelion anomalies all suggest that we may be dealing with something far more extraordinary than a mere space rock. It's possible we are witnessing a technology so advanced that it operates far beyond the bounds of what we can currently understand. As 3I Atlas approaches, we are standing at the threshold of a potential breakthrough in our understanding of both the cosmos and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Whether this object is a message, a probe, or a relic of some ancient civilization, its behavior is calling us to rethink everything we thought we knew about the universe. For now, we can only watch as 3I Atlas continues its journey through our solar system, its mysteries still unfolding before us, its secrets waiting to be revealed. In the end, the question is not just about what 3I Atlas is, but also about what it represents. Are we standing on the brink of a discovery that will redefine our place in the universe? As the object nears Earth, one thing is certain: we are about to learn something far greater than just the nature of an interstellar object. We may very well be about to uncover the nature of something much more profound, a story that could change the course of human history.
The thing is that our paper and the original paper are the only discussions on this issue. So when people say it's a comet, they don't attempt to explain the anomalies I mentioned. They just ignore them. Okay? And that's what you should ask NASA officials when they say we are confident it's a comet. Okay, how do you explain the large mass of the object? How do you quantitatively, not just say, oh, comets are weird and some of them are unusual and therefore it's okay.
They're all different, right?
But that's not an explanation if you don't have enough mass in rocky material in interstellar space to accommodate the delivery of such a package over the past decade. You need to explain that. You can't just ignore it. This is not politics. We are talking about science here.
Right.
And you have to think. You can't just... So you can't just be a bureaucrat that makes statements and everyone should believe you because of your authority. That's not the way science is done. We all know that the Church, the Vatican, apologized and admitted 350 years after Galileo died that he was right. That was a very bad public relations stunt. Imagine NASA coming up and saying it's definitely a comet and something ends up being a technological relic. How would they look? Right. So if you want to be sincere and honest, you don't make some authoritative statements by bureaucrats. You go to the data and explain the anomalies. So if you want to say this is definitely something we understand, you have to explain why is there a glow ahead of the object in the direction of motion according to the image that you are showing in the same press conference.
Right.
I'm not saying about other images. Even your image is paradoxical.
And explain it to people. Explain it to normal everyday people that can't understand physics or can't or don't have a deep understanding of astrophysics. We are human beings that live on the Earth. Why can't we understand this?
Exactly. No, so that's exactly my point. You know, people ask me, why are you putting a significant fraction of your time explaining to the public? And I say it's because, you know, I'm puzzled just like the public. I don't feel myself different than the public. I just have the privilege of using the scientific method to answer questions that I'm curious about. And I take, I'm very respectful of the curiosity of the public.